Legion, it's Hadrian. Thank you for being here. Let's play some more of The Long Dark in our ill-fated Season 5 of the Against All Odds series. Well, ill-fated is really a matter of perspective, isn't it? Because we're playing on the hardest difficulty settings that we've played on. It's in some ways harder than Interloper. Literally, the settings are more intense than they are in Interloper. In some ways, it's easier, but I've gotten a lot of feedback from the beginning of the series that, man, these settings are intense and it's a lot of fun. And I've also gotten a lot of feedback that maybe we should turn them down this run. Maybe we should make the condition recovery a little bit better. Maybe the frostbite problem was a hint at that, right? Well, actually, the reason I got frostbite is I forgot to wear gloves in the previous playthrough, right? So that's on me. Second of all, I didn't necessarily find gloves or headgear, and that led to the frostbite, which is something that's possibly preventable using these settings. So what I'm going to do with this restart, which we're about to jump in on, I'm actually sitting down to record a couple of episodes. I'm pretty excited right now. We are going to stick to the existing settings. Like I was thinking initially after that very unexpected and disappointing and saddening death in the previous episode. We are going to stick to the difficulty settings, but we are, because, you know, as Einstein said, the definition of insanity, or at least this is attributed to Einstein, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. So we are going to change something, and that is the start location. As many of you know, when I posted that, or when I recorded that episode, now you all know this, whether you've watched the episode or seen the poll or both. When I recorded that episode, I said, yeah, maybe I'll put a poll out after you guys have seen this. Obviously, I didn't wait. I waited about 6 hours, and then I just got really curious. I was like, well, let me drop a major hint. Maybe that way they'll be less surprised or caught off guard when it happens, and I'll already have a good amount of information on where I should go next, so I don't have to wait for the poll results to come in. And that worked perfectly. Over 50% of you, and by the way, if you have not gone to read the responses to that poll, there was so much sarcasm. It was amazing. It was adorable. It was hilarious. Like, you need to go to the community section on YouTube, either on your YouTube app or on youtube.com on your desktop. It's fantastic. But over 50% of you said, let's start in Milton. And the great thing about a start in Milton is that we can still have a nice, long Against All Odds series in a more traditional Long Dark style playthrough, which is to say that we are starting in an area that is scavengeable and that might have gear that we can find. So that is the first thing I'm going to change before I dial back the wolf population, before I dial back the condition recovery and all that, before I try and make anything easier. The first thing we're going to do is just give ourselves a more forgiving start where we're not starting in Timberwolf Mountain and then having to go to my favorite zone in the game that I love more than any other. You know, it's funny, the Pleasant Valley sarcasm, that was a little bit more obvious, but I've gotten so good at it that I had a number of people in the comments being like, so you love Pleasant Valley? I hate Pleasant Valley. How you like Pleasant Valley if you played so much? No, I hate Pleasant Valley with a passion. But anyway, that's what we're going to do. I appreciate the feedback, and I also have made several notes to myself because obviously, as many of you kind people have pointed out to me, I'm kind of rusty. I've barely played The Long Dark this year, and there are still lots of things, even that have been in the game for over a year, that I'm not particularly good at in terms of really keeping up with the changes in the game since I started playing it on the channel. So I've made some notes to myself to kind of do the best that I can. It's tough to learn when you're doing a Let's Play, but I'm going to do the best that I can and just dive in with this playthrough, with this final attempt. If we go beyond 20 episodes, I'm going to stop restarting. It's just going to be, we'll have a short season like we did with Season 3, but I don't want that. I want a nice long season. So anyway, we've got the same code, exact same difficulty settings. If you want to see the code again, just by sheer chance, there it is, just so you can make sure that I'm playing on the same settings as before. And of course, we are keeping the wolf and other hostile wildlife spawn rates on high. This is even worse than Interloper. We're keeping fish down to low. And we also have low harvestable plant availability, which hasn't been that bad, has it? And let me tell you, in Milton, I've done a few practice starts here over the past couple of weeks, honestly, and it's really not that bad. There's a lot of cattails to be grabbed, even just in Milton. But it's interesting because I've never started in Milton and then actually gone back out into the world. I'm guessing I'm going to go straight to Mystery Lake, but we might hang out in Milton for a bit, depending on what we find, because there's the possibility of, well, there's lots of possibilities. Let's see how they turn out. Mountain Town / Milton / Mountain Town / Milton. Female. We're going to play as Jennifer Hale, not Mark Muir. That is a Against All Odds tradition. A few people have asked me about that in the comments. This is AAO Season 5, Take 3. And really it comes down to the fact that I slightly prefer Jennifer Hale's voice work to Mark Mears. Love them both. Been a Mass Effect and Long Dark fan for a long time. Mass Effect, obviously, for longer. But the other thing is that, and I remembered this just before I started recording this, what you're listening to now. The other thing in Season 1 of Against All Odds was I wanted to make sure that if I was going to play the game on my channel, I don't worry about this as much anymore, but that if you heard the character talk, you'd be able to know that it wasn't me talking, like that it wouldn't be a male voice. And that was just kind of a little tiny detail, but since then it's just become kind of tradition. We play Against All Odds, we play as Jennifer Hale. That way I can banter back and forth with her, and it's fun. So, a mysterious geomagnetic storm, blah, 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 we've seen that. You know, I once read an interesting book which said that most people die, or most people lost in the wilds, they die of shame. Yeah, see, they die of shame. What did I do wrong? How could I have got myself into this? And so they sit there and they die because they didn't do the one thing that would save their lives. Thinking. Alrighty then. Gauntlet officially thrown down. There's a deer nearby. I think I know where I am. I'm going to take a few seconds. Ooh, okay, it's getting to evening. We don't have a lot of time. And yes, don't worry, I know I had a little bit of a prologue there, so I will be making an effort at the end of this episode to tack on a few extra minutes of gameplay. Make up for that. It's kind of a rule of thumb I like to follow. Always nice to see some wildlife ahead of me, like there's a bunny there. Hey, bunny. And the deer back there, because it's just a good immediate assurance that maybe, just maybe, we don't have any wolves to worry about in the immediate vicinity. Not always true, but it's helpful. I appreciate, by the way, all of the enthusiasm for the series. A lot of people have been, like I said, talking about, you know, how crazy the settings are, but just how much fun it's been to watch, because it's led to some really intense gameplay, which is part of the reason I didn't want to change the difficulty setting. I think that it's a lot of fun to play on this, especially for playing on YouTube. Yes, I do know exactly where I am, and I'm rather happy that we started up here, to be honest, because this is one of the uppermost areas in the zone, and it's still, we're going to have some daylight for a few hours here, which will give me a chance to get potentially to some other areas where I can find things that will make my life more bearable. I'm going to grab a few rocks so that I can possibly throw them at bunnies and get me some gloves. There's a fire barrel, nothing else around it. Hey, PSA, for those of you who didn't know this, I literally learned this yesterday while doing a practice start here. Did you know that you can find items in the bed of trucks under the snow that might have piled up in the bed of the truck? Many of the more experienced players around might have already known that. I did not know that, or if I did know that, I'd forgotten. And I found a pry bar under some snow in a truck bed that was outside. So just because you don't see anything on top of the snow in a truck that's outdoors doesn't mean you shouldn't be looking through there to see if there might be a pry bar underneath, because there totally was in my case. So I don't know what other kinds of goodies you can find in those situations, but I was rather excited by that when it happened. All right. Nothing really going on here. Here's a first aid kit, at least. So I've got some dog food. That's a nice little initial find. Clothing-wise, we started with a worn plaid shirt, which isn't bad. We need to repair it. We have decent thermal underwear, decent jeans. All of these are in pretty good condition. Socks, not so much. Sports socks, worn running shoes. Nothing on the head, nothing on the hands. Pretty standard fare for this level of start. Let's step back outside and keep on moving, because we got places to go. We got people to see. We got wolves to avoid. Hey, there's some deer. I am not going to do anything with that hide and or carcass. We're going to take the high road for a bit here just to see where there could be any furry woodland friends. But we're also going to make our way down towards the road right there. And toward the house of God. Not a joke. We're walking towards a church. Literally going towards the house of God. A particular interpretation of the God concept. Those are wolves. Or at least, hang on. I saw one wolf. That is the first time in these practice starts that I've been mentioning that I've noticed a wolf out in front of the church. Wow, he's on the road. Alright, well, you know what? We're not going to go to the House of God. Because we're getting pretty cold. We're going to start losing condition due to hypothermia soon. And I'm just going to try and make my way towards the house. We'll come back to the church later on. But given that that wolf was blocking our way, and we're already close to losing all of our condition, we're just going to make our way into town proper and hope for the best. There are usually wolves across this bridge. But since there was a wolf all the way up there, maybe, just maybe, the wildlife spawn pattern will be different. Maybe, just maybe. Exasperated sigh from Jennifer. Whoa, that's a cliff. Okay, good to know. Should have known that. Welcome back to Against All Odds, where Hadrian doesn't know where he's going. He only acts like it. I'm just kidding, I kind of know where I'm going. Sort of, maybe. Couple cattails. Alright, so we are officially at risk for hypothermia. A couple different ways I can get out of this. You sure about that? Maybe in this life, but we've talked about past lives before, Jennifer. All this has happened before, and will happen again. And again. And again. And again. And again. My Battlestar fans are going crazy right now. That was such a great scene. The original hybrid. That voice, I can just hear it in my head. I guess I could imitate it if I got the right amount of gravel in my voice, but I don't know if I could do that right now. Okay, so we are making our way kind of the long way around into town to avoid the possibility of, like I said, wolves on the other side of the bridge. But I can't lollygag because we don't want more frostbite, do we? It's just the nice thing about going this way is that, as you can see, we're grabbing plenty of cattails, which will give me some initial snacks. And we'll be making our way into an area of town that is rather populated by toilets. Among other things, but toilets which will have water in them. How are we looking? Pretty good, actually. I mean, we're losing condition, but... Alright, I'm not going to go any farther. Yes, I am. If they're that close, I'm not going to walk away. Grab that one rock. Oh, hello. Watch me run straight up towards a wolf. That would suck. Alright, so we're coming up on the path here. Trying to take it somewhat wide in case there is a wolf on it. I can't remember the last time I saw a wolf coming down this road, but that doesn't mean there won't be one. Alright, let me go ahead and head up here. Because there could be a very important find at the top of this hill, and I want to go ahead and look while we have some daylight. Anything outside? Nope. Alright. Oh yeah, plenty of daylight. Hey, beef jerky, I'll take it. Okay. Not a lot going on here. Cloth. Usually there's at least one item here, like by the bed. But all there is here is a cardboard box. Oh, wait, there's a candy bar. There's camouflage due to the light. Fleece mittens. Hey. Alright, feeling a little bit better about my life. we still have some daylight and hopefully not too many wolves to mess with our day. So let's step back down towards some of the other homes in the area. I was hoping for a rifle, but regardless, we should find one soon.
I die if I don't warm up soon.
Yeah, you will, but I am going to do my best not to let that happen to you, Miss Jennifer. My track record this season isn't great, but we did find some mittens. So let us rejoice and be elated, for we have found mittens. Hey, and cattails. 2 cattails. The other great thing about starting in a scavengeable area like this, even on higher difficulty settings, is that we are more likely to start the game off and become well-fed. At least early on. We won't necessarily keep it, but we are more likely to get that bonus and benefit from it in the early game when we have a lot of movement to do. Grab a couple of books. So I'm excited about that possibility. Not a lot happening up here. I know, I still need to check the kitchen. I'm aware. I'm not going to break that down. That's 10 minutes that I could use walking around, stealing daylight. For those of you thinking about the big house, Grey Mother's house, it is generally better lit even at night, so I'm not worried about getting there after dark, because I should be able to scavenge it fully even at night. These places, not so much. Nice find on the mittens, though. That was, I think that was kind of a gift from the Long Dark Karma gods, I have to say, given what happened with the frostbite last episode. Still going to find some head covering, and I shouldn't talk because there have been significant issues finding head covering in past Against All Odds seasons. But right, there's some water. That's another reason I wanted to dip in here. Not that I won't find some at the house. I will. But yeah, so we still need to find head covering, but that is a step in the right direction. I do not have any light. It's getting really dark. I can't see my way out of this house. Maybe I need to go ahead and head over to Grey Mother's. Hey, the weather got a little better. That's nice. Let's pop in here really quick. Nothing on the floorboards. Worn driving gloves and some cardboard matches. All right, now we officially have light, although I prefer not to use my matches for that. Okay, need a pry bar for that trunk. And for that one. It's been my experience in Milton so far that a lot of the trunks are locked. Maybe it's no different than other zones, and that's just the way it is. But okay. I'm going to very quickly look in the tool shed back here, and then we are going inside before we lose too much more condition to this lovely weather. And that's why I'm going to the tool shed. Hatchet, which would be good if we run into a wolf. Alright. Hopefully we'll find a pry bar soon. There's another stick. And another stick. Let's get us indoors. Alright. So yeah, since we're in Milton, we are going to have the opportunity to scavenge a good bit and possibly hang out and even make some animal skin items with the time that we kind of earn from finding so much gear early on. It depends what we find. We might get, RNGesus might decide that he hates me. That's the random number generator gods. RNG, random number generator, RNGesus. You get it? Huh? Okay. So that could happen. But he might decide that he loves me. And if he loves me, then we will most likely stick around for a bit. So that we are very prepared to go out into the world. And then the nice thing about where we are, hey, found some moldy meat. I can cook that, get some extra calories right off the bat, and some cooking skill. Crackers. See what I'm talking about? This could be interesting. There's another cooking pan. I'll put them both on the stove in a second so I'm not lugging them around. But yeah, the other thing is that we're going to be going straight into Mystery Lake. Wilderness Kitchen, nice. Dog food, nice. Anything else on the shelf? No. We'll go straight into Mystery Lake and then to Coastal Highway. So we're going into an area where we are much more likely to set ourselves up for a nice long run the way Against All Odds is supposed to be. Against All Odds so far, Season 5, has been more of an Interloper run. It's been more like an Interloper run on my channel. Those are kind of done for high intensity play, not necessarily long series, just putting the difficulty up nice and high and seeing how things go and going for some entertaining survival content. But Against All Odds, there's something about it. Traditionally, we just like to have a nice long run if we can manage it. Hey, all right. We are free of the frostbite bug within one episode. How about that? Screw you, frostbite. You will not be ruining our day. As long as a wolf doesn't tear the mittens or toque off my head. Not just a toque either, a wool toque, and not just mittens, but fleece mittens. So, hey, that's pretty awesome. Probably approaching our carrying capacity at this point. More thermal underwear. Need to find a sewing kit so I can repair some of this stuff, but I'm reasonably certain I'll find one in here. I guess I'll go ahead and break down this towel. Found some cloth upstairs, not upstairs, but up the hill where I was looking for that rifle. All right, cardboard box. Cardboard box. Usually something behind you, and this is going to give me 3 cloth just to tear you down. What's behind you? A cured maple sapling. That is not nearly as exciting as some of the other things I've found in that spot, but hey. Break down this crate. Just going to take 8 minutes. Oh, we just lost our last light. I was worried about that. I was like, hey, I can use my hatchet? What? All right. I'm going to pick all these up, not necessarily because I'm going to keep them, but just because I want to see if anything else is hiding in here. All right. I don't need the tinder. Nothing else. All right. One more bedroom.
Hope nobody needs this anymore.
5 rounds of rifle ammo. A trunk with nothing in it. See, as long as you don't use a tool, you can break the curtains down at night. Somebody reminded me of that in the comments several days ago, and I appreciate that. Speaking of the last episode, by the way, good, there's a sewing kit. And sports socks. Nice. Speaking of the last episode, I will, as far as things, woulda, coulda, shoulda thinking, it's good for kind of figuring out what you did wrong and learning from your mistakes, but like, for the most part, I don't like to go back, whether I'm playing the Long Dark or, you know, working on a project, you know, aside from gaming, and do too much, you know, woulda, coulda, shoulda, or what could I, you know, what could you have done better? Again, that's a good way to learn, but, you know, beating yourself up and ruminating on past stuff doesn't work too well. But one thing I will say that I definitely forgot in those moments, those 45 seconds of gameplay before that wolf got me. I forgot completely, and I've known this for a long time, but again, haven't played the Long Dark a lot this year, about the aiming aggro that happens. If a wolf is stalking you and you raise your rifle to shoot, it will charge. I provoked the charge of the wolf. Had I not raised the rifle, I might have had a few extra seconds, and that is probably the most egregious mistake that I can own up to. There was also the issue of not dropping a decoy, and that's more habit-based, and I've talked about that. I even talked about it after I died. And I'm going to make an effort just to hit the 3 key like I just did. See? You drop the moldy rabbit as a decoy. I'm just going to make an effort to do that every episode, whether I'm telling you I'm doing it or not, just to kind of start that habit going. Because if I'm not playing the Long Dark, apart from when I'm recording, I should try and learn when I'm recording, if at all possible. That is the idea. Okay, let's, we've got enough sticks to start a basic fire, so I said I was going to put some of these down, so we found 2, and I've got a recycled can on me, as is normal. So let's go ahead and start a fire, and take the charcoal, because reasons. I will go ahead and use the book because of the higher fire starting chance. 3 out of 4, I'll take it. We're going to cook that rabbit meat. And we're probably going to eat it, not going to lie. Nice. First try. That take torch button is still driving me nuts, I have to admit. Oh, I forgot I found cedar firewood. I have some reclaimed wood too. Let me just get rid of some of my sticks. That's all I really need to do. I could technically put the wood on the fire and do some reading before I go to sleep here. I could start gaining some skill from that. That could be useful, but... Alright, so we're going to cook this rabbit meat. Of course, we don't have to put it in a pan, but it's slightly faster when you do. And we could... how much water do I have? Got plenty at the moment. I don't think I need to make more. Although, what's my encumbrance? It's not particularly bad. So why not go ahead and... There we go. We're going to pass time until ready. We're going to eat that fresh rabbit. And then we should have enough time on this fire. Yes, we do. Now, one thing I could have done is prepared some reishi tea there, realizing that, but we'll get to that soon enough. I don't have any rose hips yet. Let's go ahead and just take that water. And I am pretty thirsty, so I'm glad I made that. And 17 minutes left on the fire. I'm just going to let that burn off. And let's go upstairs and get some rest. Should be a nice ending point to this first episode, I feel. Maybe I'll wake up and do some repair real quick and then call it. Since I found the sewing kit. Alright, salty crackers I'm going to need to eat fairly soon. Just to be on the safe side. Alright, I'm not going to be able to sleep for 10 hours, but this will at least help me recover some of my condition. I'll probably only sleep for 3 to 5. Woke up fully rested, and we recovered a bit of condition, and it's daylight. Nice. Alright, so let's sort by condition. And start going through, working on some of this stuff. Hoping for a high efficiency here. Few failures. Damn it. Shouldn't say it. Whoa! 3 in a row. There's 3 pieces of cloth gone.
Oh, I need to find food.
Do you? Yeah, you're getting there, I suppose. So let's go ahead and eat those crackers. Oh, that's going to make us thirsty. Crap, we're going to lose some condition. Oh, didn't realize that would be that bad. I mean, I knew that saltines do that, but man, we probably lost a little bit of condition due to that. Jerk. All right, let's keep going here. Awesome. All right, so that toque is fully repaired. And now let's repair the... I guess I want to go ahead and repair the shirt. It's not the least condition, the lowest condition item, but it is something that can really help me the most in terms of warmth, especially since it's my only outer layer at the moment. So there's that, and now I suppose I will probably break those gloves down, but let's go ahead and repair the mittens. Okay, that's a pretty decent repair rate. I mean, I did have the 3 failures in a row, and that sucked. But I'm a fan of the repair rate otherwise. I will repair these socks. If we were to get attacked, a 57% pair of socks wouldn't last long. And on that note, I will stop this first episode of the new run here. In the next one, we are going to take a look around. It sounds like the weather's decent, knock on wood. Look at me being all superstitious all of a sudden. 2 deaths in one season will do that to you. But we're going to take a look around the town and see what else we can scavenge, and see if we can maybe set up shop at one of the more base-like locations. This is kind of a base-like location, but I don't like using it because there are so many like buildings around that wolves can hide behind them, and I'd prefer, first of all, to have a rifle. Need to go find that, and I'm hoping to find one here in town. But just need to keep exploring, and that's what we're going to do. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this one, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to follow along. New episodes are coming out every other day at 1 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. Comments are always welcome. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you next time.